If politics can be likened to a drum, controversy will be the most celebrated dancer to its sound. This is clear from the drama playing out in Zamfara State. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on Politics on Sunday. I am Ademola Lawrence, standing in for Femi Akonde, who is out on station on official assignment. Let's begin the program by telling you that the current governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, seems not to be taking his eyes off his predecessor, Bello Matawali, who is now the Minister of State for Defense. However, the former and the present governor are not in the best of terms due to the prevailing blame game going on between both parties. This would not have been a problem except that the latter is the defense minister and the Zamfara is becoming a safe haven for bandits. Governor Dauda has been tackling the minister for some time now, slinging slabs of corruption and terrible governance against his predecessor. However, several elders in the state want Governor Dauda Lawal to concentrate on delivering good governance to the people and leave Mr. Matawali to handle the issues of security and defense. Whether the elders' advice will be taken to heart is something that only Governor Lawal can tell. Meanwhile, Governor Dauda Lawal has promised that the terror reign will end soon. But many are doubting his stance, saying Governor Dauda Lawal should look beyond mere political disagreement and face governance outrightly. In this next clip, we'll be sharing with you the back and forth between Governor Dauda Lawal and his predecessor, Bello Matawali.
I was a governor, but for my 4 years as a governor in Zamfara State, I never talked to a minister of defense. I cannot even get him on phone. But today, anybody will just call and say the Minister of Defense is not doing well, the President is not doing how? From the state? It is not just the responsibility of the government, it's the responsibility of state governors because they are the chief security officers of their states. So they need to stand up and fight these criminals. They should not just rely on Paragama alone. Yes, Paragama has a role to play because Paragama controls the security. But as a governor, you must work with those security that is in your state. This is what we did. I work with them closely, day and night. We are working together, 24/7, when I was a governor. And these are the people that helped me. We have spent 9 months without any incident in Zamfara when I was a governor. But today, look at what is happening in Zamfara State. But the governor always complaining. He should forget about politics now. He's already a governor. Let him be a governor. Let him be in charge. Let him bring the security close to them. Let him support them. During my time, I purchased more than 200 Helos trucks to the security agencies. I give it to them. It is supporting from the government of the state. Not from the government. Yes, the government is supposed to provide that logistics for them. But I wish to do that so that I can encourage them, so that they should work for me. And if anyone was killed among them, I do visit to the families, I do support the families. That will give them the encouragement to fight. But in a situation where the governor cannot even stay in his state, making noise every day, blaming games every day, it can't help. So the issue of security is both for state, local government, and federal government. And we need to come together and fight these criminals. As I said, these criminals don't know whether you are a PDP, APC, or any other party. They don't care. They can kill everyone that they have seen.
State and federal government, I came out and complained, and I made it very, very public to everybody. But right after that, things have changed. There's a new dimension to the whole situation right now, whereby the synergy between the state and the federal government is working very, very well. And I believe this is part of the success story why we're able now to get to a certain level in terms of fighting this insecurity. Now, of course, I had to complain as a governor when there was a kind of, issues between the state and the federal government, where certain negotiations were taking place without my consent. And I felt it shouldn't be the case. And I complained. And after that complaint, now we all came together as one. And like I said, it's yielding result, very, very effective result for that matter. And let me say this. Yes, there were a lot of issues in the past with my predecessor. In fact, let me say this very categorical. If I were him, I would resign and face all the allegations against me. And that would have been more honorable, because from all the information we're getting, my predecessor was fully involved in some of these banditry issues. Typical is the fact that there was a permanent secretary when his children were abducted. And it was unfortunate that he had to pay ransom through the government house. And it was also very clear, based on all the allegations, that bandits were being kept at government house. There are so many issues. So for me, honestly, if I were him, I'll step aside and face this allegation until I clear my name before I come back and continue my job.
What a pathetic thing, an interesting one unfolded in Zamfara State. Joining me in the studio is a public affairs analyst, Ilyasu Gadu. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers. I'm glad to be here.
I think that, for a second, I couldn't but just imagine that these are two governors who are responsible for lives and property. One was a former governor and the current governor, responsible for the protection of life and properties. And there's the back and forth between who is sponsoring what, rather than what should be done. Let's give it a proper context. Looking at what is happening in Zamfara and how the both governors are throwing jabs at each other, of course, the citizens of that state are suffering. What should we do, or what should be the way forward?
Well, it's unfortunate. Most states in this country would actually be happy to be in the state that Zamfara is in. That's by virtue of having, the governor on one side and the Minister of State for Defense.
Exactly.
It's like, more or less, I'll say, an embarrassment of riches. Because then you are faced with this very, very, serious issue of insurgency, banditry, and kidnapping, and all that. And you have from that state the Minister of State for Defense. Yes. Now, if I were, on the surface, you feel happy that at least one major problem that's bedeviling the state, you have somebody from your state as Minister of State for Defense, and you have a governor that's around. So people would expect that the two of them would cooperate, especially being that this one is just the immediate predecessor of the other. So there's going to be a sort of synergy where both of them will work towards eliminating this scourge, because Zamfara has unfortunately become the sort of epicenter of banditry, kidnapping in the northwestern part of the country. And now that you have a Minister of State from there, and you have the governor, they work together, even sink their differences, because they have people suffering from this scourge. But somehow they are lost fighting each other, which is very unfortunate. And the people of Zamfara have not been able to gain from the appointments, or rather the election of these people, and it's very unfortunate. They should get their acts together. The governor should understand that politics has ended now. He's now the man in charge of the state. He is the chief security officer, so to say, with a lot of resources he can call on to crush this thing that has become very, very endemic in the state. And the Minister of State, Bello Mutawalde, should also sink their differences, because it's for the good of Zamfara people. And it's not good that Zamfara should be facing all these kind of problems while the two of its sons are fighting over what they should not be fighting over, and face the real issue of facing the state, which is the issue of banditry, kidnapping, and all that, which has affected economic activities, social interaction, and all kinds of things. And it's unfortunate, really, that there is this back and forth between them. This is something that they should work together, and from both sides, from the state side and from the federal side, to be able to carry this assignment to the satisfaction of people of Zamfara State.
Okay, so, the governor had alleged that, that the former governor, Bello Mutawalde, was involved in banditry, and which was, of course, a huge one. And where he said that, some bandits were even kept in the government house. Whereas the former governor, on the other side, is a quit complaining and fix, the issues at hand. But don't forget, I remember there was a governor in this country who said he's not the chief security officer, he's the chief logistic officer. But how do we balance this? Where the two are not complaining, as at what to do and how to go about it.
I think if the governor has evidence, concrete evidence, about the involvement of the former governor, who is now the Minister of State for Defense, he should put this evidence together, hand it over to the security agencies, the army, police, DSS, and all that. Hand it over, and then face what is before him. It's not good to dwell on this. As they say, your house is on fire and you're going after rats.
Exactly.
These are issues that there are competent authorities to handle. The most important existential issue facing Zamfara is the insecurity, which has affected Zamfara. Is a farming state, a state that has quite a lot of agricultural potentials.
Exactly.
So, and Zamfara produces quite a lot of things that are of benefit to Zamfara people and to the whole of the nation at large. So we need Zamfara to have that focus. Let's not, because these are issues that security agencies should handle.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Of course, there's still a lot to talk about. Welcome back to the show. This is Politics on Sunday. And I still have in the studio with me Ilyasu Gadu, public affairs analyst, who will be talking about some of the issues, of course, happening in Zamfara State, most especially that has to do with the security. And, the blame game is mind-blowing, mind-blowing. I want to take you to, I remember in 2023, before the current governor came in, he said that there was the allegation of 70 billion naira being alleged that the current minister taken out of the coffers of this Zamfara State money. On getting into power, they discovered it was not even 70 billion naira. They discovered it was 250 billion, and they said they took it to the EFCC, and it's looking like the case after a year has not seen the light of the day. And these are monies that are meant for the people of Zamfara to keep lives and property.
Well, it's, as I said before as I was saying before we went on break, these are issues that the security agencies, the investigative security agencies should come to their attention. Because just recently, a governor of one of the states, was also arrested on this. I think these are ongoing investigations and things that, because the allegations themselves are so mind-boggling and they're so massive that you need to really go to thoroughly investigate it so that you make a case of it. I'm not saying that Bello Mutawale, the former governor, is not culpable or not. What I'm saying is it's a matter for the security and for the investigative agencies, EFCC, ICPC, and the other agencies to look at. And then once they find that the allegations that the governor is making, the current governor is making on the Bello Mutawale, then they'll call him in because he doesn't have immunity anyway.
Exactly.
And so I would believe that if the governor Bello Lawal, Dauda Lawal, has facts, he should hand it over rather than coming out, because at the end of the day, he's trying to prejudice the outcome of the case. And it's not good, because since some of these things are under investigation, he should allow the normal process of law and investigation to take place. And then if there's any need for Bello Mutawale to be arraigned before the court for this, then of course you will. But the most important thing for Zamfara people is actually the issue of security. These are distractions that are not necessary for Zamfara, because they have been, under the cosh, so to speak, on these issues for the past 10 years or thereabouts. Exactly. And people have lost their lives, lost their livelihoods. These are the issues that should be addressed at this point in time. The other issue of allegations of corruption or whatever are issues that in the full course of time, the investigative agencies would discover them and then do the right thing. And then, you know, at the end of the day, since he does not have any immunity, he will face the law. It's not that he's not going to face the law. But what we need now is for the government and the governor, especially, who is the chief security officer, to now turn their attention to the issue of, you know, banditry, kidnapping, insecurity in the whole of Zamfara. That is the main issue. It's not this. These are issues that, you know, that should not delay what needs to be done, which is to find solution to the insecurity. There have been some good developments over the past few, you know, weeks.
Months.
Yeah, you know, we've seen that, you know, one or two of the kingpins of the behind the banditry and kidnapping have been eliminated, have been put out, and of course, this may also be part of the, you know, efforts, stepped up efforts by the military to go after these bandits and kidnappers. Yeah. But we need more of that. It's a good development, but we need more of that. But the issue of, you know, whether there's been you know, there's been allegations of money or whatever, is something that they investigate, and I know the investigative agencies are on it, and we shouldn't preempt that, because the governor, if he continues talking in that manner, it's like he's trying to preempt the outcome of the case. And that would not, and then prejudice even the investigations going on. Yeah. So I think what you should do, the governor, yes, we've had that, we'll have what he said, let if he has further evidence of those malfeasance and fraud, he should hand it over to the security agencies, the AFCC and you know, ICPC, and then let them handle it from that end. And of course, eventually, they will need to arraign him if there's any need for that.
You know, you're talking about one of the kingpins that were actually picked up and was killed. I think that was Aliyu Sububu.
Yeah,
who was killed. Now there is the protege, which is of course
Bello Turji.
Bello Turji was the protege, and one will be wondering, you know, how many proteges do these people have? How do you now, you know, get to them, because the people of Zamfara are suffering from this?
Yeah, you know, actually, it's a very complex situation, because, you know, we have porous borders between. Zamfara is actually the epicenter, and they have developed a lot of networks stretching right into the, you know, Niger Republic, logistics, supplies, and everything. And they have informants, so they are even able to infiltrate into the security agencies, whether it's police or, there's evidence of that. There's nothing to hide about it. Exactly. And what we need here now is to be able to go down and ensure that the entire cell, because these guys have found it easy to operate because of the contiguity between Zamfara and Niger. So when there's pressure on them in Niger, they run into Nigeria. And when there's pressure on them in Nigeria, they run into. And the borders are so porous that they have, and the area is so vast. So they can operate from Niger and from Nigeria. There needs to be stepped up cooperation between Nigeria and Niger to be able to, you know, locate this, the logistical arrangements and the supply routes, and also to work within the people, infiltrate the people, supply intelligence, counter-intelligence, so that we can actually go to the root of this and root them out. It's a promising development that, yes, Sububu has been eliminated, but that is not the end of it. Yeah. Because they have proven to be like Hydra-headed.
Exactly.
And the more you kill here, the more they, you know, and then that area is, it's actually contiguous between Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi. Yeah. These are vast areas, as big as a country. And they could move in and out of these places freely, because there are vast ungoverned areas there. And then so these guys have learned to move in and out of those places very, very efficiently. Even, you know, losing themselves, you know, losing the trail of the security agencies after them. So they can move from here. When they're put under pressure in Zamfara, they move to Katsina. When they're put under pressure in Katsina, they move to Kaduna State, and they move. There are lots of forests and areas there that they can move in and then, operate out of.
So one of the things that the governor also said was that negotiations were made behind him, and he felt slighted by that. One will say, one will say, I thought the aim is just for banditry to go, for bandits to be arrested. So why are you angry that negotiations were made behind you? Because that's one of the allegations is also laying against the former governor.
Yeah, but these are niggling things, really. These are not really important. I think what needs to be done is he has the power. He has security votes, he has security resources that he can deploy to even try to get to the bottom of things by himself, and then work with the federal agencies to get. It's not the blame game really does not help, really. The governor has been making all kinds of allegations and blaming his predecessor. It's no longer, politics is over now.
Yes, sir.
What we need is for him to get down, to be able to say, look, okay, this is what I've been able to do. My predecessor has not been quite up to specs. Fine. I want to do this. I want to turn a new leaf. And Zamfara has quite a lot of security, ex-security personnel and present security personnel. He should be able to leverage on those guys and say, look, hey guys, come. I have this problem. We have not been able to solve it for the past 1 year or thereabouts since I've been in office, or since 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. We need you to come on board. We have people, a lot of people, ex-servicemen, ex-officers of the Nigerian military from Zamfara. These are people he could call and say, look, let's constitute a security committee. Let me leverage on your expertise on this issue. Try a new situation, try a new, line. Than sticking to the old line.
Let me in just 30 seconds, do you think the president should weigh in on this?
The president needs to weigh in, but I understand that he also instructed Bello Mutawale and the top security officers to go into Zamfara, go into those areas until this is done. This is enough. This is enough encouragement.
Yeah.
They should take it from there and ensure that the president's instructions are carried out, and the governor should come together with this, because it doesn't help anybody.
Thank you very much, Liasu Gadu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Public affairs analyst.
Thank you.
Of course, the discussion cannot be overemphasized.
Okay.
And that's our package for you this week. You can see this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Also watch a repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you very much for watching. I am Ademola Lawrence. Bye for now.